Looks like just about everybody who's going to arrive is getting their pizza. Take a seat. Thank you. Okay, so this is, I can't even believe this is our last all-college meeting of the year. Wow, it's gone by quickly. Give yourselves a hand. We're almost through the year. Good job. So first of all, I just want to get a show of hands. Who played in the softball, the faculty versus staff softball game? All right. So I just want to thank the students for organizing that event. That was so much fun. And congratulate the staff. I don't remember the score, and I don't have to repeat it, but the staff did win. So we're up for a challenge. I've been bullied. I've been polling the old timers in terms of who's still sore, and I know I'm limping. I was doing really well the second day, third day, and I don't know what happened. But anyway, it was worth the pain because it was a lot of fun. So I encourage us to try and do that again next fall and spring. It's great for everybody. So thanks for the organization of that and for the participation. And for the people on the sidelines, Paul Courtney provided food with his staff, so that was a lot of fun. So I also, before we go through our agenda today, just want to let everybody, I know everybody's so busy and getting prepared for commencement. There's so many activities. I want to thank all of the faculty and staff for getting students to the finish line. I know that there's just so much going on, but I hope that we can also just take some time to reflect and to congratulate one another for doing the work that you've done all year to help students. There's going to be, I don't know how many graduates we have or how many transfer students, but we'll be getting those numbers soon and have a lot of opportunities to celebrate, and I hope that everybody can really enjoy that time and enjoy one another. I'm so appreciative. It's been a great year. We got a lot accomplished, and it's all about the students now. So just want to thank everyone for that. And we have some updates. There's some information that we thought would be good for everybody to hear kind of what's going on in terms of our facilities and technology. Lots of work that's been happening really behind the scenes. So Dr. Finley is going to give everybody an update. So I'll welcome her to the podium. Dr. Finley.
I have 2 typewritten pages here. There is a lot going on. You might not have seen all of it. Some of it's below the ground, but a lot has been happening. I'm going to start out with facilities, where we are transforming the old fitness center so that it can accommodate some contract education for BNSF Railroad. We're going to be doing some welding training for them. Just recently entered into a contract with them. So that's pretty exciting. It's a lot of work. We're having to have a whole new transformer delivered. It's huge. We just found out it'll be, I guess, going on by train and leaving Virginia on the 9th of next month, or this month. It's May. Right. So we have that project going on. In addition, we're still working on clearing out all the storm basins that are around campus. You know, those great big ditches that keep everything from flooding downstream. So those are kind of on a schedule, and we're still working on those. So if you happen to see somebody bulldozing something out there, that's what that's about. We are planning for to convert some space from the S building over into a life science lab. We do know that there's a pressing need for laboratories, and this is just one small step in that direction. It is on the agenda. A new science building is too, but we have some other pressing concerns, which leads me to our hot and chill water loop. And you've probably been hearing people talk about that off and on for years. It's about, I don't know, somewhere between 25 and 30 years old, and it's crumbling. That's why you see a lot of digging around campus. You've seen some backhoe work over the last year or so. What happens is that system is what feeds our climate control. We need that in order to have heat in the buildings for the boilers. We need that to have air conditioning. And every time a piece of that crumbles and we have to go replace it, the water that's in that loop gets contaminated. So in addition to the fact that the whole thing is going to eventually just crumble, we have the problem of increasing contamination that's in the water. It's supposed to be a sealed system. So now all of our boilers and HVAC systems and things are beginning to break down because they're receiving all of this contaminated water. So it's a huge problem. And you might remember several months ago, we had the water leak out front, and that shut us down for 2 days, I think it was. A total failure of the water loop would shut us down for probably 2 months. So we can't afford that. It has vaulted to the top of the priority list, even though it is going to be an expensive project. It's going to take a lot of our resources. But that is something that we are working on now, preparing for. We are in the process of recruiting for somebody to be a construction project manager for us. And once we have that person in place, then we'll start working on getting the final contract in place for the work to begin. But we are looking at, a project that will take place probably during the summer months, probably take between 6 and 8 weeks for it to be completed. The good news is we're not going to dig up the campus. We're going to go around the perimeter of the campus instead of going internally where the old loops was, because we have so many other things there in addition to water. We have fiber and that kind of thing on campus, and we don't want to take any chance on destroying any of that. So we're just going to basically abandon the old loop and go with a new one that will feed the buildings from the perimeter instead. So that's a huge, huge project. Kind of in tandem to that, I'll mention the fiber part. We have been upgrading fiber for IT. That's been, we've been able to take advantage of conduit that's already underground, so you haven't seen a lot of digging, but we've been able to put like a sheath in through the existing conduit for upgraded fiber. So by the time we get to the fall semester, you will be able to fully experience what it's like for your data to travel at 10 gigabits per second instead of the current 1 gigabit per second that we are experiencing on campus. So it's 10 times. Yeah, and the existing, the fiber that we've put down has the capacity to actually go 4 times more than that. So we can go up to 40 if, when technology gets us to that point. But this is just amazing. It's going to be fabulous when you're trying to do things in the fall. You're going to see a noticeable difference. But getting back to some of the facilities things, we're also doing some tree trimming, and let's see, we have, what else have we got here? I'm looking to see, we have, oh yeah, the lighting. Almost all of our exterior lighting has been converted from traditional lighting to LED now. Saving a bunch of money on that. And over the summer, we're planning on starting some projects to convert all of our interior lighting, not the black box theater, but classrooms and those sorts of places with LED lighting. And so that's the next project, and that again will save us a whole lot of money. Moving on a little bit more to the IT side, we are also increasing the number of Wi-Fi access points on campus. And that project, again, also it will be fall semester probably before you feel the full impact of that. But by that point in time, we should have full coverage of the entire campus, all of the classrooms, and all of the outdoor common gathering areas. You'll be able to go anywhere and still have your Wi-Fi access. So that's going to be a really big accomplishment. We're excited about that. As I was talking about all the fiber that we put down, that's all finished as far as laying the fiber. They're in the process now of testing it. And then once that's done, we'll start installing some pieces of hardware that we need in order to make that, to be able to turn the switch on, I guess. Being a lay person, that's the way I kind of envision it. We also this evening are transitioning over to a new telephone server. So you probably have all, or most of you have had intermittent problems with your long distance code. That should be resolved when you come in the morning. We'll be on the new server, and that shouldn't be a problem any longer. And that is the first step in the whole big telephone project, which the next step will be over the next couple of weeks. We'll start delivering new handsets to all of the departments, and then for a couple of weeks after that, we'll be talking to departments about how they want to structure the way their telephones handle incoming calls. Some departments, for example, say in student services, will have an option to set up kind of a phone tree or a revolving kind of a thing. Let's say you have one person who's going to be the primary person who answers the phone between 8 and 10 in the morning, and then somebody else is the primary person from 10 to 12. And you can do this like on the fly every day. You can set it up any way you want for however long. There's just going to be a lot of opportunity to really personalize and fine-tune the way our telephone system works. And additionally, it'll work as an intercom system so that we can actually have like broadcast a message throughout the whole campus on the telephones for emergency reasons if we ever needed to do that. So there's just a lot of exciting things that are going on. Not to omit Banner, I want to tell you a couple things. We last week kicked off the Banner Document Management Project, and that's where we can scan documents now and upload them into Banner so that when people are looking at student information and there's a reference to a particular document, they'll actually be able to see an image of that document. So that's pretty exciting. And Banner 9 training is scheduled to begin at the end of this month. The first focus, as I understand it, is going to be on the folks who deal with student registration. And then after that, the next focus group is faculty. Alicia from IT is going to be sending out specific information about that training pretty soon, but that's the new web-based Banner, so it's going to be kind of a whole new world, but sort of not, because a lot of it will feel familiar, but the way we get there will feel a little bit different. So this is all just lots of things, and it's exciting, it's exhausting. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Thank you for being patient. And if there are any issues or concerns that anybody has, I certainly welcome your feedback, and I thank you for your time. Does anyone have any questions for Brenda about facilities or technology? That's okay. Very cool. I want to thank Dr. Findlay and also Rick Hernandez. A lot of work on facilities. You can hear everything that's going on. Also IT. We've got Glenn and Tim here, and I know Mike, and these are big projects, and I just want to underscore that we recognize that and appreciate that. And it's going to be a lot of training involved, so everybody is involved, and it's just part of the transition. So thank everybody for the efforts to make these new enhancements work for everybody. Thank you. I see Rick. Is he here? Where is he? There he is. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. So I had to put my glasses on. And Harry, yes. Okay, next, another important topic for all of us, kind of a follow-on from last month's All College, looking at enrollment and marketing updates. So we have Dr. Morris and Chris Clark.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we're a few weeks into summer registration at this point, and at the moment we are slightly ahead of last summer, about 78 enrollments ahead of last summer, but we also started registration a week earlier this time around, so those numbers aren't going to exactly match. So we're probably realistically about even with last summer, but the enrollment has been pretty steady. We do need to continue working on this and want to encourage all of you. We did, during the regular academic year, during last fall and last spring, we were down on our enrollment. And so we need to make up some ground in summer. This has significant fiscal aspects for the college. And of course, how much money we have affects a whole lot of other things as well. So we have a enrollment target that is set by the state based on our previous year's enrollment. And we will ultimately make it this year. But the way summer works is that you can use summer either for the previous year or for the next year. And right now it's looking like we are going to have to use significantly more of summer this year than we did last, which will put us behind going into the 18-19 year. So the more that we can put into summer to help ourselves in that situation, the better. So just want to encourage all of you as you are around town, talking with your neighbors, church, clubs you're involved with, to encourage people. You should have seen the postcards and the trifold brochures that were distributed and were sent out. And Chris is going to talk in just a moment a little bit more about some of the recruitment efforts. But this is something we really encourage everybody's help on for the sake of the college, for the sake of everybody, to help us see how many of these students we can bring in. And then once we get them here, to work very hard at keeping them and keeping them in the classes. So also want to encourage you both now and especially when summer starts. If you see a student wandering around looking lost, don't wait for the student to approach you. We need to be able to reach out to really make contact and to try to be as conscious of helping all of the students and make sure they know where they're going as we possibly can. For the faculty, again, just the effect of keeping one more student in your classes. I put up something at the board meeting last year that just during the regular year, one more student per class, retain one student that you can reach out to, keep from dropping, and talk to that student who may be having a little bit of trouble and keep that student in. One student per class would be upwards of $100,000 for the college in the long run. So it's that each little effort like that is very important and can really, really help us in the long run if everybody can pitch in and be willing to do that. We have also posted the fall schedule. Fall registration starts on May 9th. So the schedule is up and we will be working on the recruitment and again, the recruitment and the retention for fall once again, because we are going to need to do a little better next year than we did this year, in terms of enrollment for fall and spring. And so both in terms of getting students in and equally importantly, keeping them, helping them once they are here is very important. And again, Chris will talk in a moment about the publicity that he has going on for that. The one last thing that I want to mention is that the Enrollment Management Committee also continues to work on developing an enrollment management plan. A few of the people are here in the room, and it's been a terrific committee that has been meeting at least every other week, throughout the spring pretty much. I've had a number of meetings and people have worked enthusiastically, honestly, and dedicatedly to really put in good thoughts and to think about things that we can do to improve our enrollment, to help our students, to improve our student success. One thing that we have been looking at is the scheduling of courses, when they are scheduled. So I just wanted to call to your attention, a survey was sent out to all of our current students. So if you are a student and if you haven't filled out that survey, we would encourage you to encourage your friends to look at their Barstow email and to fill out that survey. We've gotten pretty good response. I understand we've got about 300 responses at this point, so that's not bad, on a survey. It's a pretty significant sample of response, but we'd like to hear as many voices as we can. I also last Friday sent out a survey to all faculty, full-time and part-time, asking some similar questions as far as the scheduling. I want to encourage all of you as well. Really want your input. The Enrollment Management Committee will take that information from both students and from faculty, and we'll look through that and make scheduling decisions based on what is really in the best interest of our students. But we really want your input to help us to determine that. So again, if you haven't filled that out as faculty, I've gotten some responses, but not as many as I would hope to get. So encouraging you this week to get that filled out, and I will send out a reminder for you on it. Okay. And now I'll turn this over to Chris for marketing.
So first, I'd like to start out just by acknowledging the efforts that are being made in our Student Services Department and our ASG for getting the word out and talking to a lot of people about the summer semester and also the upcoming fall semester. A lot of our outreach has been happening, and we had those brochures printed up. We originally printed 10,000 of them. I think we've got just over 1,000 left to encourage people to register for the fall or for the summer. And most of those have been distributed by our ASG and student services and the people that are doing the outreach in the community. So hats off to everyone, and want to commend all of you for helping with that effort. As Karen mentioned last time, it's up to all of us to really encourage people and let them know about what's happening up here at the college and making sure that the word gets out. We're doing a few things differently for summer and fall. One of the things that we've been doing is upgrading our website. You may have seen on the program description pages for now, instead of financial aid information and some of the other things that were there, now they have a complete list of the core requirements and general education and all the classes listed out. So that when we are doing our website advertising and internet advertising, we're directing people to those pages so they can see better what the requirements are and what the general description of the programs are. We are doing a website or internet campaign that includes banner ads that go anytime somebody searches on sociology or photography or welding or anything like that in our area, and looking for careers that way, a page will pop up or an advertisement will pop up that tells them about the opportunities here at Barstow Community College and directs them to the program pages that have recently been upgraded. So that campaign is fully underway starting this week. So you should start seeing those ads popping up. And we're also doing what they call remarketing, which is when the person searches for those terms, the ad pops up, but then later on, a month later or a week later, the same ad will pop up when they're doing other searches. So if you've ever noticed that when you search for mattresses, all of a sudden it seems like every ad on the internet is about mattresses. Well, the same thing will be happening with us as far as the college and when we're advertising online. So that's a new campaign. We're also doing an email blast. We've already sent out 10,000 emails. We'll send out another 10,000 for the fall semester that goes out directly to everybody in the community. We've done the postcards for summer. We're also doing the postcards again for the fall semester. Those are being designed right now. In fact, we just had our meeting last Thursday talking about new themes and how we want to promote that, new taglines and everything. So it's very exciting. The designer's starting to work on that this week. We also have quite a few social media programs happening. If you've gone on social media now, instead of just Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we also have some Snapchat happening. We have a YouTube channel. We have Google Plus, and we've even started some stuff on Yelp. So there is more happening there. And like I mentioned in some meetings previous to this one, this is a general all-college meeting, but in the management meeting, we talked about when we say that we have a Facebook page, we have a Facebook page, but then we have 4 other Facebook pages that we also manage. We also manage Facebook groups, and we also send all of our postings to other groups within Facebook. So when we run an ad on Facebook, it not only shows up on our page, but it shows up on all of the groups, all of the things that are associated with Barstow and the college. And so you see quite a proliferation of these advertisements on social media. You may have also noticed on the marquees in front of the college and also on the TVs around the college that we have announcements for all of the different student activities that are happening, workshops, and registration dates and things. I think for the fall semester, we actually start on May 7th with the first priority registrations. So that's starting on May 7th. But as it goes forward, those announcements will also be on the bulletin board so everybody will be able to see that. We're also doing a lot right now with some student testimonials on Honors Day, which is this week on Thursday. We're going to be doing some testimonials with the students, videotaping those and preparing those to be added to our website and some of the public announcement channels that are in Barstow. So we encourage the students and the other faculty and staff that are here to please help us to reach out to students and to look for those success stories that we need to talk about. When we interview the students, we're talking about kind of their background, where they've come from, why they're here, and where they plan to go. And that's pretty exciting stuff as it gets on the internet. So that's what we've got planned for right now. Any questions about the advertising or marketing? Yes.
And Honors Day is next Friday, not.
Sorry, next.
May
Not
have
this week.
yeah.
See, Wendy's looked a little
Yeah,
tired.
I'm like,
there,
We're all like, what?
I think the meeting I was referring to is
It's
just a
Thursday, that's
setup
what I kinda
meeting.
thought,
Thursday,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so, any other questions? Yes.
For the student success stories, those testimonials, if we know somebody wants to send
Or send you their information.
Send us their contact information and just a little bit about them in an email that can go to me or Joanna Escalante, either one. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So if people want to pick up some brochures to carry off with them and distribute them, can they get them on the way out even at your office? So if you need some brochures, Chris has some. I've got a few in the president's office. If you want to stop by, say hi, I've got some brochures for you as well. So we appreciate everybody getting those out. And really, you know, this is such a college-wide effort, and, you know, a number of different approaches have been suggested. I mean, retaining students in the classroom. So, you know, when classes start in summer and in fall, you know, like David said, you can just keep one more in. That makes a big difference. If students go to admissions and records and want to drop a student, sometimes it's very effective for those people talking to students, saying, well, have you talked to your instructor? Are you sure you want to drop that class? Often those kind of connections, those contacts directly with the students can save them. So, and then there's all of the persistence activities with outreach and with A&R generating those lists of students who are enrolled and aren't yet enrolled in the next semester, calling them, encouraging them. All of that kind of personal touch is making a big difference. So I just want to thank everybody for doing that. I think the other thing, you know, when we talk about enrollments, you know, pretty much every college in the state, even nationally, based on our economic condition, you know, colleges are struggling to get enrollments, and it always ends up sounding like, you know, we're running this like a business. And I know I always cringed when it was like we're chasing FTES, but you know, it's really not that. I mean, if we think about what we are doing, we're trying to increase access to higher education for our citizens here in Barstow and the online students that we serve in Fort Irwin. And if we can think about it in that way, I think that it helps to motivate us. We're not just chasing FTES to generate dollars. We're trying to provide opportunities to more students. And we've got other initiatives and work that's happening to help with this, creating access to our college and to our programs and services. So for example, the work group is working to look at Fort Irwin so that we can increase opportunities for programs out there and better connect with the military. That should over time increase enrollments. We've got a lot of work happening with adult education. There's ESL, there's some non-credit CTE programs and credit CTE programs, all trying to increase the pipeline of students into our colleges. And then of course the Enrollment Management Committee. So it's not like it's not just a marketing effort, although those are you know, significant effort for, you know, Chris and his crew and all of the other marketing efforts that we have, but it's all of these other avenues that we can generate more interest in our programs and services and increase access to higher education. So just kind of wanted to sort of imbue the value of what we're doing, and it's not just for FTES. And to thank everybody for all of your efforts. It really is everybody thinking about how we need to do that in order to maintain the budget that we currently have and to grow that to the extent that it's made available so that we can have the courses and the service levels that we have and expand those. So thank you. I don't know what happened to the agenda. I think what's next, however, is I think we're going to hear from Joanne and Samira and Chris about commencement, so that everybody is aware of what's going on and we're well prepared for these celebrations. So Joanne, Samira.
I hit that ball 3 times. So before we get on commencement, I had a young lady come to me right now and says, Joanne, look at this. It's her letter. She's just been accepted to Cal Baptist University, and that's Margie. Margie, please stand up. And we do have the graduates in the room. Will you please stand up? Who's graduating? Kate? Fatima is our student speaker this year. She's selected. Okay, so, and this is why we're all here. We're here at Barstow Community College because we're all involved with education, and the most celebrated time of the year is graduation. We all participate, and it's a lot of fun, and it's why we attend school, that's why we went to school, and that's what it's all about, and that's why we're here. Before I get up to that one, I want to introduce somebody that's been out in the community. She's a retention specialist at the college hire this summer. Her name is Marcella. Will you please stand up, Marcella? So Marcella last week has been out, and she's not done yet, but she's hit every agency in town telling about our college and giving out the brochure that Chris is talking about, and she's not done yet. And then we have another retention specialist, and they're calling 3,000 students and hope to be done by next Friday. Tell them that we have transfer services here, but they just see that they have help, and then we're recommending them to us, one of our counselors. So that's like the in-reach that's happening out and some of the outreach, okay? So let's get on to our graduation. If you'd like to have a brochure, they're gonna come around, raise your hand, they'll give you a graduation brochure. It's good to have because everything that the graduate needs to know is right in here, practice, where they can purchase cap and gowns, what's happening with reception and so forth. So raise your hand if you like one. We do have students calling still, they do not have one, and you can get these at student services. So we're gonna start with our PowerPoint, then when we're done, feel free to ask us questions. Okay, so we'll go through our slides. Oh, so you can read it, but as you see, we're having Fort graduation tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, so it's tomorrow, let me see, May 2nd. So it's tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Fort Aaron. For those of you who have not attended a graduation ceremony at Fort Aaron, it's a beautiful ceremony. When I first attended it, I was asked to help organize it. It was gorgeous because you had the associate's degrees, you had bachelor's degrees, and then you had master's. And it was really sharp because it was our college president that hooded the people that were getting their master's. So it's really a sight to see. So if you can join it, please join. If you can help, we need help. Okay, next slide is our practice. So we have practice here at the college, and I believe, have any of you guys received assignments? Practically every person in our college has an assignment, and Samara sent out the assignment, right, Samara? Oh, they go tomorrow. So you know it about today, but you will have an assignment. But if you don't like the assignment of having food at the reception, let me know, we'll put you somewhere else. It's a lot of fun. So, you want to talk? You guys want to talk?
Go ahead, you're doing great.
Oh, I just want to be up here talking forever. Okay, so at graduation is actually May 18th at the gym. It's all decorated by ASG, and Glenn takes care of all the music. It's wonderful. I know we're hoping to have Ed play the piano somewhere in the program. We do have this, oh, well, I'll get to that slide there. Okay, so that's at the gym. Okay, next slide. Okay, there's our student speaker. That's our student speaker. You can stand up. So Fatima was among, I think, 6 candidates. We had candidates from our college, and there were some that lived in Michigan that attend here online. But the pool was very beautiful. It was hard to pick. But we did, and she was selected. Congratulations, Fatima. Tell me this is Chris's slide. I'm moving on.
So we have a very special speaker coming for the commencement speaker. It's Dr. Murillo, as you see on the screen here. And one of the things that's interesting about her that maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. Those who've been around for a long time might remember. But she is actually a graduate from Barstow Community College. So she's now the college president, has been a college president at 2 different colleges, and has a great wealth of experience that she's going to share with us at commencement. So we're really excited to have her. Some of you have seen her. She was on the IETI committee or team that came and helped us. So she's actually been involved in Barstow before, and we're really excited to have her.
And next is the staff assignment. We would like everyone to participate on the commencement ceremony. And the staff assignment has been prepared by the commencement committee. The list will go out tomorrow. VP Karen King will send out the list. So if you are, just a quick reminder, if you're assigned to help graduates check in the cafeteria, please report to your designated area by noon. And if you are assigned to the gym or to the PAC to help the guests, then please report to your designated area by 1:30 because the doors will open at 2 p.m. If you have any questions about your assignments, please take it to your the managers or your immediate supervisors so that we can make changes. We are also gonna give all the staff members will have the ID cards, not the lanyards with the event staff, so that all the guests will know that we are serving. And We have a little synopsis that graduate from fall 2017 and the summer 2017. The certificates awarded were 44 duplicated certificates to 42 students, and degrees awarded was 127 duplicated degrees to 120 students. And this year for spring 2018, we received 198 petitions for 194 students. So on behalf of the commencement committee, we would like to thank all our counselors who helped all the students to submit their petitions. Thank you. And if you have any questions,
I'm just so impressed with the preparation and, having a brochure for commencement. I've not seen that before, so this is just a wonderful effort, a team effort, lots of planning, organization, and people are excited about this, and it really demonstrates the care that everybody is putting into this for the benefit of students and their families and all of their supporters. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's great. And I've yet to meet Dr. Murillo, but hearing what she's done and having roots here at Barstow Community College, I think that's really nice. So thanks to everybody for all of your efforts on that. I think next up are updates on the events, things that are coming in the pack. I think that's what's next up on the agenda. So Chris, you're back up.
Well, let me just first start by inviting Amy King to come up. Amy is the executive director of our Barstow College Foundation, and they've started something new this year that she wants to talk to you about and invite more participation. So,
thank you, Chris. Hello, everybody. I will talk a little bit about what Chris just mentioned, and then I'll give you a couple foundation updates. But we've been brainstorming on the foundation side of ways to get more involved, get some more engagement from students and faculty and staff, and to really figure out how we can help celebrate the students and the graduates. And part of that came out of some discussions in a case conference that we went to. And it was an idea of creating graduate buttons for the graduates to wear at commencement to show and celebrate where they're moving off to, whether it's a certificate or they're moving on to a university or college, or they've got a job lined up. We want to help them celebrate that and share that with everybody. So what we have done is purchased a button maker. And again, this idea came from Pasadena City College. It's something that they've started. It's a long-standing tradition. And we're starting it this year. So we find out with the help of the admissions office and the transfer center, an email went out on Friday to all of our 2018 graduates, asking them to let us know where they're off to, what their next adventure is. And once we get those responses, each of those students will receive a custom button with a new hashtag that we've worked with the college PIO on. It's Barstow CC Proud, and it's a hashtag that we hope to be able to use amongst your future campaigns, but really just to show the pride in going to BCC, the pride that the institution and the foundation has for the college. But these graduate buttons, each student will get that button showing that hashtag and showing where they are off to next. And then they can pick up those buttons right before commencement that day outside student services. And then our hope is for them to start to wear them at commencement. And we're just getting started, so we know not everyone will participate this year, but we hope to at least get a chunk of students to participate in that. And really, it's again just to show how proud we are of them and to help our students show their pride and where they're off to next. So for those students that are graduating, if you haven't, send those emails over to transfer@barstow.edu to let us know your name and then where you're off to, and then those buttons can be picked up before commencement. A couple other quick announcements from the foundation. Our barbecue, the date has been set, our annual fundraiser barbecue for September 15th. This is Saturday. So mark your calendars. We'll have some information coming out here in the next couple months. We're just starting planning. But for those of you who aren't aware, at our barbecue, we have a reverse raffle drawing to win $10,000. Tickets for the barbecue are $200. So we'll be getting some information out here, like I said, in the next month or two. But again, if that's something you're interested in and helping us raise some money and potentially winning a lot of money for yourself, we'd love to have you. An ongoing initiative we have right now is our vehicle donation program. We work with another nonprofit called CARS out of San Diego, and we accept running or non-running vehicles, motorcycles, boats, tractors, you name it. If you're interested, if you have or know somebody with some form of transportation that they're looking to get rid of, we have some information that we can provide you. That vehicle can be picked up free of charge through the CARS organization, and then they take a very small split of it, and all the money then comes to the foundation to help with scholarships and educational programs here on campus. So something to keep in mind if you have anything laying around you'd like to get rid of. We're also working on an initiative to bolster some engagement with faculty and staff with the foundation. We recognize we probably haven't done a good enough job in getting information out to you all about what we do and why we do it. So expect here in the next coming months some information on getting involved with the foundation if there's any interest in making a payroll deduction. And also if you guys have feedback, questions, we want to hear from you guys. If there's something you want to hear from the foundation, there's information you feel like is needed, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, bcf@barstow.edu. We want to, like I said, really bolster some engagement with the faculty and staff here at the college. Let's see, how many of you order stuff from Amazon? A lot of you? Okay, great. How many of you have heard of the Amazon Smile program? Awesome. So for those of you who don't know about it, Amazon Smile is a program run through Amazon for nonprofits. Nonprofits can sign up, and then when somebody goes on to choose, if Wendy goes on and decides to buy furniture or something, you can choose to have a portion, it's 0.5% of what you're paying to Amazon be donated to a nonprofit of your choice. So I'm currently working on getting the foundation signed up for that. We know a lot of people in Barstow and a lot of faculty and staff and students are using Amazon, and it's a great way it's not additional money for you guys, it's just coming out of what you're paying Amazon. So I'm getting a setup on that. We'll get information out. I know there's a lot of information coming out in the next couple months, but we'll let you all know when that is officially set up. So hopefully you will choose the foundation as to receive some of that money from you guys. And as Chris mentioned, he's working on some stories, and the foundation is kind of helping him work on getting some stories from students. But I think it's also important for faculty and staff to get some of those stories as well. The foundation hopes to use some of these as we are out marketing why our donors or potential donors should donate to Barstow Community College. So if you're interested in doing that, if you know students, I would just encourage you all to encourage your fellow coworkers or students to get involved in that, or send us an email and let us know if there's somebody you think would be willing to do that and share their story. Because in the end, I think it can only help benefit the college. And I know it'll help me as I'm out talking to some potential donors for major gifts as to why really Barstow Community College is a wonderful place and why people should donate their money to us. So that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yes, please.
I just want to thank you, Amy, for sharing that information. I just want to acknowledge Amy. She's a new executive director for the foundation, and I am so grateful. She's smart, she's savvy, she's very innovative, and she's really bringing a lot of energy to the foundation. She is out there promoting our college in a way that I think, I know the foundation is grateful for, to bring it to a new level, to support scholarships and other initiatives for the college for the long term. So I really appreciate it. I think it's part of, showing people what this college can provide, and she's just out there and dedicated. So thanks a lot for sharing that with us, Amy. Thank you.
Just a couple of other announcements. First of all, have any of you wondered what it would be like to win that foundation raffle, the barbecue? Have you wondered? I mean, I have. And here to tell us more about that is Ed Will. Yes. Ed Will. And he's also going to talk to us a little bit more about what's happening in the PAC. So.
I was one of the winners last year. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Yes, very, very much. Thank you. I highly recommend that you buy a ticket and go and enjoy. It's a wonderful evening and barbecue. The food is great and everything about it. It's just a wonderful time. So thank you, Amy. She sold me the winning ticket, by the way. So make sure you get your tickets from Amy. May 12, coming up in a week and a half, we have Santana. No, well, not the Santana. I'd love to have Carlos Santana, but I'd have to charge $1,000 tickets to see Carlos Santana. He's been at it since the 60s and doing great things, but we have a tribute band from Moreno Valley, and the guy looks and sounds like Carlos Santana. It is scheduled to be a wonderful evening. They're going to do all the great songs, one of my favorites, Oye Como Va, and it's going to be a wonderful evening. Tickets are available on eventbrite.com. But it'll be a great evening, so please come out for that. June 15th, we have another concert with a tribute band for Three Dog Night. So if you enjoy Jeremiah is a Bullfrog, or Joy to the World is the name of the song, and Celebrate, and many other Three Dog Nights, that's on June 15th. And then I'll be announcing the next full season a little bit later. So hope to see you at the Santana concert. Thanks.
We have a lot of things that are coming up. So we've got the choir is doing their spring performance. The band is doing their spring performance. They're combining with Atomic Jazz again this year. So you're going to want to look at those marquees that I was telling you about, the TVs around campus. All of those events are listed on those marquees. If you see one that you happen to know about that's not on there, email to Joanna or Joanna Escalante, and she'll make sure that it gets on there, or myself. So, but we want to make sure that everybody is aware of the different events that are coming up, and that's one of the best ways we know of to communicate that. We're also posting those things on social media, but sometimes that happens as a report after the fact, where we're posting pictures from a great event that we had. And we want to make sure that you all know about them beforehand. So please check the TVs and marquees for the other announcements.
Thank you, Chris and Ed. I noticed Elias is here with Park University, and Elias, commencement is May 31st, is that correct? And what time will it be? 3 p.m. May 31st, Park University, a really great partner with us. Lots of students transfer, and a lot of employees go to college, get their degrees at Park University. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to that commencement as well. Right here in the Performing Arts Center. Thank you. So, are there any other announcements or questions that anybody has? Joanne?
We'll let Marcel talk about it. Marcel's been, we're doing a lot with stuff. Say do a lot, it's not do a lot. Well,
Okay.
The people that have this Barstow Community College, and that's what we should be facing it about all that. And go on there looking for Ooh La La and all these. So, in the app store. So I did put that in the calendar for fall. I will put that on the bottom, so we can get that out and give that too. And we also have a raffle going on with that. $20 gift card, yes, that was from Brenda, who's given to us.
And do they know how to get the app? I mean, it's fairly simple. I recently put it on my phone, and you can see a lot of student activity. Maybe that's something that can go out for, I don't know if it already has, but for everybody to be able to utilize that. And for me, I mean, I see a lot of students, they're asking questions, and I assume if we have someone who's always there kind of monitoring so that those get answered. Typically, students will answer for one another, but you hate to see them hanging with the question, but it seems to be generating an awful lot of activity. It's very easy and it's kind of cool. So I want to thank folks for promoting that. Penny?
I want to say that this class I've been in this semester, probably about 30 to 50% of the students are already on the app.
Wow.
So that's just a class that walk in apps, but there are other students who don't know why it can help them. Please push it, but also let them know if it doesn't really satisfy their needs to let us know so we can fix it. I mean, Brenda's been awesome about saying, hey, how come we don't do this? And she's like, I don't know, let's find out. And so a lot of really good changes are happening. Some has to help.
Right, so maybe we can have some materials for the summer and fall to help everybody to promote it. And maybe we can find a kind of a structured way to get the feedback. I know you were responding, the vendor's been responding really quickly to make those changes, but that's what it's all about, having it be modified so that it's, optimized to help students. So thank you for providing that for our students. Thank you. Any other questions, announcements anyone wants to make? No, okay, so have a great day, and hopefully we'll see everybody again at graduation. Be a fun time. Thanks a lot, everybody.